Hello folks, let's set up our fast travel. So back in the interaction system folder, I'm going to right click, create a new folder. This will be my fast travel. I don't need the underscore, let's see, SYS. Now I'm going to find my base interactable. That thing gets a lot of mileage, but it works out well. So create child blueprint. Alright, and this is going to be my fast travel point underscore BP. And I'm just going to drop it into that folder. I'm going to double click and open it up. And I don't know why this continues to do this. Okay, now in here, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to where it does not destroy when we use it, and I'm going to set its item name to interactable. Now instead of these bags right here, I want to use that statue of that dude. So where is he at? Angel, 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 betrayal, broken cow, monk? Is he the monk? No, he's not the monk. That's a different thing. That one looks cool though. I like it. But not that one. I want the other one because he's got a torch. Plainsman with torch. Okay. I don't know that you actually need to flip it around. You could probably just flip it around in the world, but I don't know. I'm finicky. I didn't want to go around. It would feel backwards to me. I don't know why. Alright, so once he's in here, then I want to add a particle system. Now this is going to be what signifies once this statue is activated. And I'm just going to call it torch flame. And then I'm going to drag it up. And I'm going to switch perspectives. I'm going to try to find, there it is. Alright. Let's see, now from the back, now from the right. Okay. And then I want that to be probably the same fire that I'm using for everything else, just because it looks nice, but it's huge. So I'm going to set it to about a quarter of the size. That's looking good. But once it's in, I don't want it to auto-activate. I want this to be that when the player runs up to the statue and can access this waypoint, then that's lit. So I'm going to find its activation under its details and click auto-activate. Turn that off. Now in the event graph, I'm going to delete everything and then be right back. So let's go into our player blueprint because we need to add a new variable. And this is going to be activated fast travel points, or FTP. Activated fast travel. And its type is going to be fast travel point blueprints object reference. And it will be an array. That's freaky sound. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that sounds freaky as hell. What the hell is that? Anywho, okay. So, now back in our fast travel blueprint, I want to do on begin overlap with the sphere component, because it still has that, so we want to see if it's the player. So I'm going to cast to my player blueprint, and if it is, then I want to get the activated fast travel points and see if this statue instance is already inside of it. So I'm going to drag off and see if it contains an item that will be a reference to the self of this statue. I swear, the entire neighborhood will be dead silent. And then I go and I hit the record button. 5 days after no videos. Night's silent. And creepy ass dogs just go start barking. Oh, okay. Anyway, so if it does not contain this instance, if our list does not contain this, then we want to add it to it. So we're going to add a unique instance of this. So we'll add that just like that. We'll plug this into the false side. Then we want to activate our flame. So we'll drag out my reference to it and hit activate. Boom, just like that. So when I drag this into the world just to see if the statue lights. Let's see. The flame is off. I run up. The flame is on. Good deal. Alright, so since we want to be able to use this multiple places all over, we need to add a couple things to it in its variable. So I'm going to add, first one is going to be its title. That will be a text, and that will signify its area. I'm also going to click this little I, because we're going to be using that in the actual world. Next thing I need to add is over in this side, let us highlight the item, and we're going to add a scene component. Now this will be the actual spawn point for the player, so that's what I'm going to call it. Spawn point for the player. I'm going to drag this just in front of it. That way when we fast travel to this point, that's where we end up. That's a little close. Maybe right there. That looks right. Let me check one thing real quick. Make sure I'm doing this just like the other one, because the other one worked really well. Oh, I called it location. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Okay. We're on the right track. So one thing we can do here, after we've activated the flame, we can spawn sound at location. And it'll just be, with the starter content came this fire sound, and it works pretty well. But the one thing I am going to do is set its volume multiplier to like 0.2. So let's jump in real quick just to see how loud that will be. Not very. I can hear it. I guess my TV's low. So hopefully I didn't blow your ears out with that just now. Anyway, back in the fast travel point. Now we need our interact functions. So I'm going to set up an event interact. Now when we interact with it, we want to see, when we push the button, we want to see if the menu's already open. And if not, then we want to open it. If it is, we want to close it. So I'm going to add a new boolean that will be open question mark. Then I'll add a branch right after the event, hook our boolean up. If it's not open, then we're going to want to create a widget that we don't have just yet, so I'm not going to actually hook it up. Then we will add it to the viewport. Now let's go ahead and go make the widget. So I'm going to right click user interface widget blueprint. This will be fast travel underscore W. Double click, open it up, and just like always, wrap it scale box, wrap it size box. I'm going to default, or I'm going to override these 1920 by 1080. Then I'll add my canvas panel to the canvas panel and anchor it to my left side. Reset its positions on the Y. I want it 0.5, so it's centered on that dot. For the X position, I'm going to move it off about 50 units. And then just kind of scale it up and size it the way you like. Let's see. Let's see, if we do 350 and we go 25 in on both sides, then we can make our button 300. Okay. So I'm going to do 350 on the X and 700 on the Y. That'll be alright. I'm going to drop an image onto the panel and anchor it to the full screen. To the full thing, rather, not the full screen. Set its tint black. Alpha is 0.75 to make it somewhat see-through. I'm going to grab that image and move it up just a tiny bit so that I can add a text block onto my canvas panel. Anchor it to the center. 0.5 on the X so that it lines up. And then center justify it so that it lines up really good. Once we start punching in text and stuff, position X and Y back to 0 so that we can reset its orientation. And then we'll just... what happened? Oh, that's the wrong one. Position Y, not size Y. So I'm going to move it up to about there. I want it to be a bit bigger. That looks nice. We can size it to content if that makes it easier, and I will... Let's see, -55. Now I'm just going to call this waypoints. Typeface italic, I guess. And the color yellow? Blue? Blue, I like it, why not? Oh, something I learned recently. When you have like a color that you like and you want to reuse it multiple places throughout your project, you can just grab it right here. And boom. Now anytime I create a text object or an image or anything, I can just click that with that little dropper and it'll apply that color. It's pretty nifty. So now with that here, I want to add a scroll box to this canvas panel that's anchored to the full thing. Then I'm going to add a uniform grid panel. And I'm going to horizontally align it to fill, but vertical alignment, just align it to the top so that it'll fill up appropriately. Now, slot padding. I'm just going to put it 10 across the board. Probably come back and update that, but that's it for now. That's good. Oh, but on the details for that uniform grid, we want to call this waypoint grid, and it is a variable. So compile that real quick. Check how long this video is running. 13 minutes. We're doing alright, I guess. Alright. So now we need a fast travel icon. Oh, actually, let's go ahead and set this up. So now we can create our fast travel widget. And we'll promote it to a variable. Fast travel widget underscore W, I guess. Whatever you want to call it. So we'll add it to viewport here. Actually, let's do this the right way. So we'll do an is valid check so that we're not constantly recreating it just like the other ones. So if it is not valid, then we want to create it. But if it is, as in they've already been to it this time, then or this playthrough, then we just want to re-add it to the viewport. Oh, and then at the very end, we want to set that our widget is open. Get our player controller. Set our input mode to game and UI. That way we can push the button to close or use our mouse to click on the widget. and then we want to set show mouse cursor. Now on the other side, I'm going to grab another copy of this so I don't have to cross wires. I treat it like the beam in Ghostbusters. You don't want to cross the beam. I don't want to cross the beam. Alright, so I'm going to drag off of it, and I want to remove from parent. Because if it's open, then I want to tell it close. So that will do that. So once that, then we can set that our widget is no longer open. We can get another reference to our player controller. Set our input mode back to game only, so that we're just running around, got control of our camera back. And we can set show mouse cursor back to false. So if we jump in real quick, there's my waypoint list. I don't have any right now, but it's all working as it should. And the fire is lighting. It looks nice. He looks creepy. I love it. And that's looking great. Let's just do this in one video instead of having to split it up and y'all gotta wait on a longer upload. Alright, so widget blueprint. I need to create the fast travel buttons. So this will be fast travel icon button underscore widget or icon, you know, whichever you like. Now what I hadn't been doing with the buttons and stuff is I hadn't been wrapping it with the scale box and the size box, but it might be a good practice to go ahead and start doing that because I was practicing on another project, a turn-based project, and I had a menu with party members full of, it was like 4 party members, and when I tried to add their widgets to the thing, I didn't wrap them, and they weren't working right, but then I wrapped them, and it worked out perfect. So, let's see, let's change the fill screen to desired on screen. Then we can wrap this with a scale box, and then we can wrap it with a size box, and then we can specify exactly how big we want it to be on our screen. So for the width, I think I said 300. And then for the height, let's go 50 or 100. Split the difference 75 for now. So I'm going to add a button to that panel, stretch it to the full screen, just like that. And then I'm going to add a text block to it, and this will be the location. So I'm going to change its detail name to location and make sure that it is a variable so that we can update it. Now for the font, 30 and nope, not italic, light. That'll work. That'll work good for now. So I'm going to compile real quick. I'm going to get rid of everything but the construct. Now I want to add 2 variables over here. One is going to be teleport point. Actually, I don't think we need that. Let me check real quick. Let me make sure alright, so back out her fast travel icon. Yeah, it needed a location. Set active transform. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we need a spawn point. So this will be, dang it, teleport point, and it will be a transform. Now that one is going to be instance editable and expose on spawn. And the next one is going to be location name, and that will be a text. Also instance editable and expose on spawn. Now for the event construct, we want to get our text, set the text to our location name, Oh, I have the clicked event. I guess I had... Oh, I set that. Either way, it's fine on the text. This works too. So, well, that's it for the construct. Alright, so now we need an onClicked event. So, we'll highlight our button and get an onClicked event. Now, what we want to do when we click the button is we want to remove the widget from the screen and teleport to the location after the screen fades out. So first thing we need is a reference to the fast travel widget. So I'm going to call it ftw ref. It is going to be the fast travel widget object reference instance editable expose on spawn. Okay. So unclicked, then we want to remove from parent this widget, and it'll automatically take the buttons with it. Losing my mind, hang on. Yeah, remove that, set input mode back to normal, do that, cast player, set that screen is closed, alright, start camera fade, doing all that, sounds good, alright. Then what do I feel like I'm forgetting? So we're removing from the parent. We're getting our player controller. Then we will set the input mode back to game only. And set show mouse cursor back to false. So for now, that's all we'll do right here, so we can test and make sure everything is working as it should up until this point. So first thing we need to do is in the fast travel widget, we need to go into its graph, and on event construct we want to cast to the player. We'll get the player character, and the reason we're doing this is because we need to get that activated waypoint list. So let's get our activated fast travel points, and we're going to do a for each loop on that. Now for each item in our waypoint, that means another statue we've unlocked, which means another widget that we need to create. So we're going to create widget, and that will be the fast travel icon button that we just made. But we don't have a reference to our statue yet, so in our variables we need to set that up. So variables, we'll add a new one called statue reference, and it will be a reference to our fast travel point, the blueprint. Object reference, instance editable, expose on spawn. So just real quick, inside the fast travel blueprint where we are creating the widget, right here we can refresh that. And for the statue reference, we'll just get a reference to self. That way when we create the widget, it knows exactly which one we're at. So back in the widget. I don't think that was right, but it'll work either way. Screw it. So from there, alright, from the array element, then we want to get the name, that's not what I called it, location. What did I call it? Title. Get the title. And we'll plug that into our location name. Then we will get the... What did I call that thing? Spawn point. Let's get the spawn point. Then move this over a little bit. Get the world transform, and plug that into the teleport point, and for the widget reference right here we'll just drag off and do a reference to self just like that. Now since we're adding this to a uniform grid, let's grab that out, add child to uniform grid, And the way I want this one set up, let's see, I'm just going to add the return value to the content. And I don't want it to go sideways, I just want it to go down. So the column will always be 0, but for in row, we'll promote that to a variable called fast travel row. So after we add it, then we want to increment that row slot. Which means at the very beginning, when we construct this bad boy, we need to clear our grid first and set the FT row back to 0. So now when I run up to this thing, I didn't set him a title yet. He's going to be Highlands statue. Why not? So when I run up, I open the thing. Yeah, I've got my Highlands point. I click it, it goes away. Okie doke. So now in my fast travel button, now that these are working appropriately, oh, that's why. Okay, so for the left slot padding and the right slot padding, I'm going to set those to 25, and then the top and bottom can remain 10. So it looked kind of funky when I looked at it, but it didn't register until I walked all the way away. So that looks alright. Alright, so now on the button click event, let's set up a nifty little camera fade effect. So what we can do is we can get the player camera manager. Now this keeps track of all the cameras associated with the player at the index right here. 0 is the first player. So what we can do here is we can start camera fade. Now it works a little bit backwards, at least from the way I thought it kind of would. So from alpha to alpha, this is what you're fading from, fading to. So you would think that you're fading from 1 to 0, as in the 1 is active, and then you're fading to 0 inactive, but that's backwards. So we're fading from 0 to 1, because it's the fade effect. So at this point, its fade effect is not active, so it's 0, but you want it to be fully active at 1. Now right here you can set how fast you want it to fade. I'm going to set it to be 1 second. And right here you can actually pick the color that you want it to fade to. I'm just going to leave it black. And right here, hold when finished. That way we can do all our stuff behind the scenes and let it, teleport our player, do everything it needs to do. So once it starts fading, this does not work as a delay. This is just how long this will take, but it'll still continue to fire everything off after it, unless we set a delay. So I'm going to add a delay of 1.1, just so it's fully faded out just a little bit longer, and then I can do all my stuff. So I want to cast to play. Well, let me don't tell you wrong. Pretty sure we cast to him, but I'm going to make sure real quick. Yeah, at the very beginning we're... What is that fast travel screen open? I don't remember that one. Let's see, fast travel screen open. Where am I using that? Golly, this thing's a mess. Oh, that's in case. Okay, so that'll come up next. That's if we've opened the menu wherever we're at. I was wondering what the hell that was. So for right now, we're just setting it up on the statue, and then the next one we'll set up. We'll set up how to fast travel from wherever you want. So let's see. So start camera fade, delay. We'll do the cast to the player at the very beginning, just so it's ready for when we need it. So cast to the player blueprint. Get player character. And then we'll just promote that to a variable for now. Player reference. hook that up to the remove from parent, drop it all back in. Well, I'll leave room for that variable we're going to need. So then, after the screen is completely faded out, then I want to set actor transform. I'm going to grab out my player reference. Maybe I can do it from there. So we'll set actor transform. Yeah, set actor transform. I want to set this character's transform to our teleport point. Then we'll do another small delay of 0.2 works, I guess. And then we will get our player camera manager again so that we can start another camera fade. And now this one we reverse, so it'll go from 1 to 0 over the course of 1 second. And hold when finished. Alright, let's take a little look-see. It's inactive. I'll run it. Yeah, it's working pretty good. Let's add another one real quick just to double check it all. And he is going to be, let's see, Terran Field. So let's activate this one. I've only got the one. I run over to the other guy. And now I've got both. So if I teleport to the Highlands, here I am. And if I teleport to Terran Field, there I am. Hooray. He's loud now, isn't he? Oof. Okay. I don't know what's up with the audio, but we will check that out in the next one. And for now, that is it for the fast travel part 1, at least. Because in the next one, we'll set up the way we can get that menu on screen so that we can fast travel from wherever we want. So this can be used either like in The Witcher, how there's those fast travel, those road signs. Why is this one so quiet, but this one's so loud? That's strange. But, so that can be, this can function like a road sign, or you can use it like Skyrim, to where you can open the menu and then fast travel wherever you want to. And we'll take a look at why the audio is doing so weird. But for now, that's it. So I will see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.